probably plus or minus 300.
Wow.
300 to 350 volunteers, multiple groups obviously. So before Everett Lewis retired, he did a study of how many people per household in Harrison County. And there's only an average of two and a half people per household. So our thought process was, why do we need to build big? Let's build smaller and kind of change people's mindset on what they need to have instead of what they want to have. And so building smaller is kind of a way we're going to be going. We've got 4 more lots in this area on Dixie Avenue, actually on the other side of Old Patch Road. And
we're trying to get a few more out of Mr. Monforton.
Yeah.
Just work him a little bit for us.
We've got 4 more lots that we're going to be building 3 more of these and 1 smaller 3-2 plan. But all smaller, not big. The 3-2 plan is going to be about 1,100 square feet. This plan is right at around 800 square feet, but it's very, very livable, manageable space. And the architect from Florida, some of you guys may have met him, Mr. Michael Griffin. He has graciously designing all the stuff pro bono. So it's good for us going forward because we can have all these plans in-house to go and build more in maybe more subdivision style, just a lot more affordable housing development going forward. We all know that that's a huge crux for us right now because this is going to keep it affordable because you go to 1,400 square feet, you're having to spend a whole lot more money. And we need to keep our price point at around somewhere around $100,000 plus or minus, $5,000. It's keeping it affordable, and there's nothing affordable down here. So this is
affordable in its quality.
This is how we keep it affordable and keep it quality. Everything's sustainable product, so there's no MDF. MDF is a composite wood that doesn't last very long. So there's none of that product. Everything's maintainable, sustainable for families going forward, and everything's energy efficient. So it's helping keep those costs lower for those low-income families, and that's our goal: making sure that each family or individual can sustain what they get.
So it seems that we may be the front runners for affordable housing on the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Yes. We part of the solution. We're part of the solution. I mean, there's very few, and it's the non-profits that are going to step up along with Habitat, us, whoever the non-profits are that are developing affordable housing. The non-profits are the front runners.
It's not going to be developers.
It's not going to be developers. We know that. We've seen that. The market's not dictating that. And it's really no fault of anybody's. It's just the market.
Right.
And so it's going to be the non-profits that start that trend. We can continue. I mean, it's a very usable plan. I can't, yes, it's compact, but it's very, very usable. I mean, I could live in this house.
I think it is.
And so there's nothing I wouldn't put in this house that I wouldn't have in my own house. In actual fact, I've got this flooring in my house.
As do I.
Mine is very similar.
In 1 or 2 of the hallways, I've got this flooring. So it's stuff it's good product. It's just because it's affordable housing doesn't mean it needs to be cheap housing.
Yep.
It needs to be sustainable.
So we're really going to be amping up our development work and building affordable housing in the next year, 2 years.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it more to scale. Till now, because we have been what we are, it's been on a very low, 1 or 2 houses a year. But now we're going to try and amp it up to much more production. So.
And some multi-family dwellings too.
Does that mean we'll stop rehabbing, or is this,
No.
GCI? Okay.
This is GCHI. The rehabbing is going to continue, but we know there is a turn there, and the turn is that I don't know that we're ever going to get the volunteer base back like it was. And in speaking about that, the volunteer base was very skilled and a lot of skilled people coming pre-COVID. Well, COVID, we all know what COVID did for our volunteers, it just destroyed it. We are getting numbers back, but it's not the same. We're not getting the skills that we once had. I don't know if we'll get back to pre-COVID numbers, we hope we do, but the skill sets have changed. And so because those skill sets have changed, I used to have every other week, every third week, I used to have a crew that can come in and frame up a house. Well, I don't have that anymore. So we've got to start building relationships with other groups that can be able to do that for us. We're partnering up with the Amish crew this week on a house that a family had a house fire. So we completely rebuilding this house with an Amish crew. And so inviting this Amish crew down for back day missions purposes to frame up houses. This is what they do. It's, partnering up with different agencies and figuring out how we can move forward and still keep it affordable. It's the volunteers that keep it affordable. Without the volunteers, we can't keep it affordable. All the product, materials and everything else has gone up in price. So if we got to add contractor fees on top of that, it's just not going to work. So we want to keep as many volunteers engaged with this kind of development that we can and keep it affordable. So the initial price on this home was $105,000. We are probably going to have to charge about $125,000. The reason being is when we broke ground on this house, the framing crew that came out to frame this house up, the next day the whole framing package was stolen. So that was almost $15,000 right off the bat that we got a hit on. We also didn't realize that the city couldn't get us gravity feed sewer drains. So we had to put in a grinder pump and everything else, which cost us another several $1,000s for a whole sewer system.
What's a grinder pump?
So it's basically, if you look at that side of the yard, you'll see the circle disc, and basically there's a big trough in there that when you
Grinds your poop.
so when you the sewer line goes in there, grinds everything up and pushes it out to the main sewer line.
Thank you, Meredith.
So Meredith, thank you, Meredith, I didn't have to say.
If you live with a grinder,
It grinds all that stuff up.
I probably shouldn't have asked that. I knew what it was, but I thought everybody else did. They're probably thinking about the grinder app.
I mean, that was several $1,000s hit right off the bat.
Yeah.
With the framing package sold, another, it was almost $20,000. And then expenses go up with bills. And so, this was supposed to be 105, but it's right now, it's about 125. Which is still, in the market that we're in, has anybody seen anything less than $200,000? No. There's nothing out there less than that. So if people have the mindset, I don't have to have big, and they look at something like this, maybe this is affordable, And the key, one of the keys to this is, if it doesn't sell within a certain period of time, guess what? I turn it to a rental. And we keep it as affordable housing rental. Instead of affordable housing sales. So,
But your house right next door is affordable rental. That's one of our affordable rentals.
yeah. So this lot that the reason we built them this right away is because when we got the house next door through Gaston Point CDC that closed down and gave us their capital and their rental properties, that was one of the rental properties. We didn't realize that there was another lot attached to that house. So when we cleared this out, we realized we've got another buildable lot. And so this was free, and we just turned it into a home right away. So.
It's really nice.
It's exciting.
Any questions?
It's exciting.
Makes you feel proud to be a part of that.
Yes.
Quality.
Yeah, and I think that the good thing for us is that we can turn it into rental if all else fails. Hey, affordable housing rental is good.
so we need a lot of it right
We
now.
need a lot of it. We need a lot of it right now. So we're not, and the other ones that we build will be the same. Obviously, we'll pick different colors and everything else, but again, if they don't sell to a family that's looking to buy at low income, then we turn it into rental, because we know the rentals, there's absolute market there for that.
I have a thing though, like this is, I'm not gonna get no question.
Oh, that's
But
right.
like, the lady next door, like, who they go to? They going through Back Bay, are they contacting you, or they?
No, it goes to the
Biloxi
rental
Housing?
market, they would go through Biloxi Housing, and Biloxi Housing will contact us, or Gulfport Section 8, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever vouchers they have, they'll contact us, and we'll put it out in the market as a rental property, and someone will move in immediately. The housing authorities right now are overwhelmed, they can't give the vouchers away. We had a meeting with Biloxi Housing Authority, and they can write a voucher for any one of maybe 100 to 150 homes today.
Yeah.
Because there's no housing stock for it. So we know we're building for the right purpose and for that right clientele. So
Good job.
Any other questions?
cozy little home. So there's a couple of little knickknacks left. That's why you see stuff laying around here. But there's a couple of little knickknacks that Todd's going to be busier with Monday and Tuesday of next week, putting up blinds, 2-inch forward blinds in all the windows, getting it completed so we can have our final inspection, and then it'll go on the market probably later next week or early the week after.
Really good.
Lisa, we inside.
Sam and Todd, team, really good.
So our next volunteers are here September 8th, 7th, 8th?
Yeah, it's the second week in September is the next volunteer group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have volunteer groups pretty much through,
Through Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Maybe the first week of December, or not, too much
Maybe.
after.
First week through Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving week after that, I don't think we have any more. So,
Yeah, and usually I make it a practice to get out at least once or twice to visit folks on the work site that are on the work site. So if any of you want to go along with me at any point to visit our volunteers on the work site, because I think they appreciate seeing staff show up, let me know and you can come with me.
trying to partner up with that Amish crew right now because they're really excited. They came to see our facility yesterday and they were thrilled with what they saw. So that they might be partnering with us going forward. They might come down for 2 weeks at a time. And I've offered up December month for them to come down and actually come frame up 1 or 2 of these new cottages when they're down here. If they're down here for 2 weeks, they can get it done.
So we gave them a tour of the long-term volunteer house, all of them.
Let me know, we have to lunch and drinks and meet them out there.
Okay.
Well, and for those next new builds, we're looking at a loan from UCC Building and Loan Fund. Yeah, so we're in conversation with them, we're going to write the grant.
Yeah, we had a meeting with them and we can, I propose that we loan, between $400,000 and $500,000 to build all 4 at once so that, we can get a better price on materials and everything else if we build 4 at once. And that'll keep the prices down and everything else. So, fortunately, I think we've got support from the UCC Building and Loan Fund. So I think it's going to be pretty much a shoo-in, but you never know until the money's in the bank, right?
That's right.
Except they keep calling us payback.
Yeah, except for they keep on calling us payback. I mean, I don't know what payback, but
Payback?
yeah, payback.
As long as they send the money.
Yeah, as long as they send the money, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
So that's we need to talk about too, by the way.
And that's a new partnership.
Yeah, it's a new party, should never have been partnered with before, so it's exciting because they're willing to also loan money for major projects, like multi-million-dollar projects. When I said to them at our first meeting that maybe $400,000 or $500,000, they said, "Oh, we thought you were going to ask for a few million. We're good." So it's, I mean, they used to funding big churches and everything else that cost a lot of money. So, developing with them going forward is, I think, a real thing. And it's, with loan prices the way they are right now, the loan interest rates, it's just going to be harder for us to develop. That's at the end of the day that the end user has to pay for that. So We want to keep those end user costs down.
And
They
then
said
a
we-
construction loan has a much higher interest rate than
Yep.
a mortgage loan, so.
Yeah, and the construction loan, I believe, is very low. Very, very low these
With them.
with them.
They said it's, you won't find anything lower, that's what they told us. So,
We guarantee you won't find anything lower. And I've heard a few things from Grapevine, which I'm really excited about, but I'm not going to throw numbers out right now, but it's what nobody can ever be there.